First of all, I want to say welcome to Lakeview Camp. It's an honor to have you on the premises with us. I wish that our first meeting had been something that didn't have quite so much tension in it, but we're very glad to have you here. One of the main concerns has obviously been the security and is this a danger? Is this going to somehow leak out or create a problem or an issue for some of our citizens? I think that's a question that would best be handled by our sheriff, and so I would like to invite Sheriff Brown to come and speak on behalf of his department.
Thank you, Rick. As far as the sheriff's office goes, we were advised yesterday afternoon about 5 and started working on it, made numerous phone calls throughout the night, and we do have security in place. The sheriff's office will be in charge of outer security on the outside of the buildings. We know we're going to have approximately 700 children that will be brought in stages at this point. The company that is handling it, the BCFS, talked to them extensively last night. They seem to be very squared away. It will not be 8-to-1 ratio as we were told in the beginning. It'll be closer to 2-to-1. They will have plenty of staff here to take care of things. My thing is I want to make sure the citizens of Ellis County know that this is under control and we have everything secured and they have no fears at this point. If anything were to change, we will immediately notify everyone, but we've made contact. I have the Maypearl Chief Sewell here, Constable Terry Nay, Precinct 2, this is his precinct. I've been in contact with all the local law enforcement agencies as well as DPS. We do have a plan in place for any kind of emergencies, as well as the contractor. This will become a miniature city for the next 21 days. They have fire control, EMS, everything under control. So thank y'all, and thank you for coming out today.
Take any questions?
Thank you, Sheriff.
Wait, hold on.
Can we ask a question?
We have a ton of questions.
He wants to take questions when I get through this. When I get through this part of the process, you'll have an opportunity.
Okay.
So fair enough. So what I would like to share with you is a little bit of the process that got us to where we are today to make sure you get it. I'll be too wordy for you to be able to use it all, so you'll have to work on it a little bit. Fair enough? I'm Rick DuBose. I'm the superintendent of the North Texas District of the Assemblies of God, and we oversee this campground as a part of one of our ministries. It was only about 3 days ago that we were contacted and asked if we could participate or provide an opportunity for the Baptist Children's Family Services to house some kids here who are in transition. As we began the conversation, we found out that they were connected with Health and Human Services, and as a connection or a relationship that they have together, that they help kids that have come across the border. They've been, first of all, vetted through some kind of process with Border Patrol. Border Patrol then turns them over to HHS. HHS then works in cooperation with the Baptist Children's Family Services. They've asked us, they said, because there are so many, we need a place to house these kids for about 21 days. What will happen in this 21 days, 40 to 60% of them will end up ultimately being returned back to their point of origin, where they came from. Some of the other kids will have family here. They will be allowed to move in with family somewhere in the States. There's different processes that will take place based on where the kids are from, what experiences they brought with them, and how they check out. They also shared with us that they will immediately go to work to make sure they all have their immunizations, that they are protected for health purposes as well as other purposes. They shared with us that they would bring a strong security force to keep the kids safe and to keep us safe. I so appreciate the fact that our sheriff said that he would rather take responsibility for the safety of our county and our citizens himself, and that he's come forward to prepare a strong force and a strong support staff of his own officers who will provide the security from the camp out. As that took place, we agreed that with those things in place, we could easily house these kids, feed them, take care of them, until they were able to be placed somewhere else during that 21-day period. We feel very comfortable. We feel very safe. For the most part, these are just kids that have had very difficult lives, very difficult circumstances. And the fact that our government chose to allow them to come across the border and not immediately send them back, that we brought them in and said we've got to now do something with them. We didn't feel like there was any way we could turn them away and not care for them and feed them when we have the beds that are empty and the food that can be served in the process here. And it's our slowest time of year, so we were very available. So we've jumped on it, and we are honored to give these kids a place to live for the next 3 weeks. We're praying for these kids that they will find permanent direction, the help they need, and what they need in the future. I know, as they've told us, many of them will return home, but we pray that while they're with us, it'll be a good experience that'll change their life forever. And so with that in place, that's what we're doing. And I will take a moment for questions, and then if you have questions for the sheriff, he will choose to answer the ones he chooses to.
Sir,
How many
there are a
beds?
lot of people who are concerned who aren't in this room. Do you suppose a lot of that comes from ignorance, just the not knowing what to expect?
I read some Facebook posts last night that I didn't bother to respond to, but there was no, it was not done with good information. A lot of people are saying things that have not called us, nor have they called the people that I've listed in the agencies to get the right information. And so it's created a little bit of a firestorm of fear that's out there, but it's not, we do not believe there's a reason to fear. We do camps all the time, and in many ways, this is like a camp. In other ways, it's very different, and we see the differences. We know that there's some things we have to do differently. But as far as keeping these kids active and busy and moving forward and feeding them and giving them a safe environment, we can do that. And thanks to our sheriff, we know that we'll keep the line safe between here and the rest of the community.
As a person of faith, have you been disappointed in some of the comments, commentary, and response to what's going to happen here at this camp?
Some of the response has disappointed me. I would agree with that. Some other responses that we've received, though, have been so positive. As a matter of fact, in my office this morning, our receptionist shared with me as I was leaving that every call she had had thus far this morning was people asking how can they help us and support what we're doing to help these kids.
Are you all paying for this, or do the feds going to reimburse you all? How's that going to work?
They,
And how much per child?
They do have a reimbursement process, and they have agreed that we would not lose money in the thing, and we're keeping good records, and we'll see where we end up.
Do you know why they came to you guys and asked you guys to be a part of this, as opposed to dozens of other sites in North Texas, maybe in larger cities with bigger infrastructure?
I really don't know why. You'd have to ask them that. We do know that when they contacted us, they were aware of our capacity, our bed capacity, and our ability to feed this many people at one time, and they commented on that, and as far as I know, that's the reason. We are one of the larger camps and probably more suited to help in the short term, but otherwise I do not know why they contacted us.
Is there a plan for the kids when they arrive here? I mean, they can go to school. What they are going to do here the whole day?
Well, that's the responsibility of the Baptist Children's Family Services. They supply educational processes. They supply all their activities. All that they do it's them. We do not do the programming. So we can give you that number later of who to call with them, and they can give you that information.
Who's going to help the children communicate with people that don't speak their language?
Good question. Baptist Children Family, they bring enough interpreters as part of the group that they bring. As you heard the sheriff say a while ago, it's almost one adult per 2 kids. A number of those speak Spanish fluently, and that's why they're here.
So they're not all unaccompanied minors? There are some 18-year-olds in that group?
No, sir. No, ma'am. All the kids that we're receiving are 17 and under in our agreement. They may turn over while they're here, but they tell us that coming in the door, they're 17 and under.
We've heard the sheriff and other elected officials at several different levels who said, we just learned about this yesterday. When did you first learn about this?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Can you talk about that? How did that go? How did this even drop into your lap?
Well, they just called, and we received phone calls saying that, as I described a while ago, they had these kids and they needed a place and was wondering if we could be available. It's that simple.
How many beds are at this camp, and how many of those will be occupied?
The camp has different kinds of sleeping arrangements, some that are a little more of a hotel in nature, others that are more of a cabin in nature. And altogether, we're right at 1,000 beds, but the part they'll be using totals about 800 beds that will be available.
Rick, the 700 number, and Sheriff, or you said that, but we'd heard 500 kids. Is it 700 or what's?
Our agreement, as of yesterday, with them was 500 kids with 220 plus workers. That was the initial agreement, and
What was that figure again?
I do know that they've asked, would it be possible to bring in a few more kids later? So I am not going to stand strong by that number. But 500 was the first number we worked with on kids.
So it could go up.
It could go.
Any idea how long they're gonna be?
It's a 21-day agreement.
You said they would arrive, or like, one of you said that the children would arrive in phases and waves? Or-
They won't all come at once. The first arrivals will be all the leaders, the workers, the council, the people that will do counseling for them and support them, the adults. And then when they're set up, the kids will come in a certain amount at a time each day so that they can stay in control of the process and develop it well and just process the amount of kids coming in and get them in the right places. It'll take a few days before they're all here.
When do you expect the first kids to arrive here?
You know, we're hoping that they'll be able to come as early as tomorrow. That's still up in the air a little bit. We don't know exactly.
And the adults will be arriving today? I
We're
understand?
hoping they're going to be here today. We're pretty confident they will be here today.
To be clear, when you talk about workers, adults, what do you mean?
Well, the people that Baptist Children's Family Services have trained, that they work with to support the process, that'll be living here in the 21 days that the kids will be here with us. It's their team, it's not our team.
We've had some requests from local churches and nonprofits asking how and if they can help. Is that
Thank
something?
you. Here's what we're learning as we go too. So we're asking our churches, and we've had a number, to email us. If you just go to the Lakeview Camp webpage, send us a message, let us know you're interested in helping us, and we'll have someone that will get back with you. And we will learn more as we go what the Baptist Children's Family Services do bring and what they would appreciate us bringing to the table as we support the process. But we really don't have a good answer yet. Thank you very much. Sheriff, if there's anything they would like to ask you.
Me or constable or the mayoral chief.
Obviously, there's no fence around here. How are you going to work that out logistically?
We will have deputies and officers from across the county 24/7 roaming around the perimeter.
Who is the security on behalf of? I guess, I mean, is it for the kids or is it for the people on the outside of it?
It's to protect everybody. It's to keep everybody safe.
Could you talk about your biggest concerns regarding security where we are here?
Well, there's a number of concerns. No fence is one. That lets people come in or people go out. I've been assured that at no time will there be everyone asleep in the cabins, that someone will be up 24/7. They do it in shifts. Their BCFS has retired officers, retired firemen, fire chiefs. Like I said, they'll make this a miniature city. They will have everything they need on hand here at the facility.
Do you feel better about this as we speak now than you did when you first learned about this? And if so, could you explain why or if not, why?
Well, feeling better about it is not an issue. My issue was the short notice and not having time to prepare in a better fashion than to be up till midnight last night calling my fellow law enforcement officers from all the cities and the council's office trying to get something set up. I did feel it's imperative this is our county, and that if something's going to go on in our county, then we probably should be a part of that security team to help ensure the safety of everybody.
For Ellis County citizens, they might be concerned that there are going to be deputies here 24/7, maybe not patrolling the county. What would you say to them?
That is not the case. Every deputy or every officer that's here will be working in off-duty capacity, and BCFS will be paying their salary or their pay.
Sheriff, do you worry at all about some of the older teenagers in this group maybe trying to get away now that they're so far from the South Texas border?
That's a good concern. It's the 1% you worry about. No matter what it is or where it is, it's the 1% you worry about. You could be in a restaurant with 99 people, and one of them could be a bad guy. It's no different than out here. Do I feel that somebody could say, hey, I'm this close to the Metroplex that I could fall out of sight? Yeah, I have that concern. That's why we wanted to make sure we had the security
Now,
for
that's it.
the outer perimeter.
Now, that said, to someone, you're talking about children though, right?
Say that again.
You're concerned about the 1% for those who might be this close and drop out. I mean, we're still talking about these
Yeah, we're
kids,
talking about
right?
children. All of the workers that will be here, they're all trained professionals. I don't think they're going to be trying to escape. So,
So when you talked about was it 2-to-1 ratio, were you talking about workers to children? then,
Yes.
Or what were you referring to?
yes, that's what I was told in the last conversation last night, is the 8-to-1 was, where they got it, I don't know, but that's what came to me, and when I confronted them, they said, no, there will be 400 employees here with the children.
How many officers do you plan to have here?
I don't want to discuss what my operational plan is.
Sheriff, do you have any,
It was
like, big
initially
picture?
reported that you were very upset about these undocumented children coming here. What has happened in the past 24 hours that has given you more reassurance, or you feel better about this?
That said I was upset about children?
That was initially reported.
I was upset about not being informed, not about this. We can handle anything if we have the time and the equipment to get it done.
You feel like you got everything that you need in place now?
Yes, I
Those
do.
concerns have been addressed?
I do.
Sheriff, big picture, you kind of touched on this, but what would you say to people in Ellis County who see this and have concerns, and obviously people on social media say maybe we're going to come out here and block people from coming in? Well, I mean, what do you need to tell people who live here who maybe this isn't sitting well with them?
We have it under control. And ease your fears. We are out here. I will be out myself patrolling. And like I said, we've gotten with DPS, extra manpower, Constable's Office, Maypearl Police Department. We've covered with Midlothian. We've covered with everyone. And we're going to have a meeting later to discuss strategies.
And I'm sorry, you have said that BCFS will pay for, is it for all the security, for some?
For all of our security outside.
So would that be considered overtime for those officers?
No, it's considered off-duty ground.
And Sheriff, is it your understanding that the first group may arrive tomorrow as well?
The way we have it set up is they're going to notify me when they leave South Texas, and they'll notify me 1 hour before the bus gets here.
If the children are arriving in waves, if they don't all arrive at the same time, are the 21 days starting when the first group gets here, or 21 days for each group that arrives?
My understanding of the entire operation is 21 days.
Do you think in 22 days, this will just be a blip? Yeah, there are a lot of people who are sort of up in arms right now. Do you think this time goes and passes and a lot of people didn't even realize, that this was a concern?
I don't think there's going to be anybody that doesn't realize something went on out here, because it's everywhere. I think they will ease as they see that we have it under control. I think it will ease their minds.
What's the plan if this goes beyond 21 days?
Call somebody in government very quickly. Any other questions? Any questions for the constable or for Chief Sewell? Thank y'all.